Addy soldiers. Wow, look at that! Rachel's finally gotten her shit together enough to film this video. I know it's a little bit late. Everyone and their mother has already done a favorite books of 2018, but you know what? I still really want to do one because I'm not seeing some of my favorite books of the year on Lee's major lists. So today's gonna be an interesting video. It's gonna be interesting because first of all, I am hopped up on some green tea Kit Kats that my friend got me for Christmas. So there's that. Second of all, I'm wearing a shirt that makes me feel a little bit like a poet, or maybe like a really classy minimalist vampire. Third of all is that this list is going to be very lacking in some respects because this year was a big year for giant sequels and final books that came out, and I don't even know if any of them are on my list. So that being said, I did curate this list very carefully, so anything that is not on this list was not a favorite book of mine in 2018, which is very unfortunate because there was a lot that I had very high expectations for, and like a petulant child let me down. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I'm also not going to include any adult fiction. I only want to focus on YA, just going to be books that came out in 2018. In no particular order, here are some of my favorite books of last year. The first one I want to talk about is a bangin' sequel, and that is Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman. Scythe was this amazing, futuristic, dystopian death novel that blew me away. I thought it was an amazing concept, and Thunderhead is one of the, if not the best sequel that I have ever read to anything in my life. The stakes just kept getting higher. When are we gonna stop? We don't! The politics of this futuristic, technological death world where no one can actually die, and the plot twists were incredible! Plus, in the last year, I've gotten very into watching the YouTube channel Ask a Mortician, so all of the death positivity, like, is perfect to go alongside this book. So you need to read and watch both because this was super great. Let's go to yet another sequel. I loved The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee, but I adored The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy. Monty and Percy trapezing around Europe was a really fun read. I loved that the main character was a bisexual male, and the representation in that during that time period was really great. We got like a little bit of magical fantasy stuff that was delightful and surprising. Lady's Guide just upped the ante by like 12-fold. We get more LGBT issues in this, and we also get an ace main character, which is just perfect because sometimes I don't want my female characters to have to fall in love. They always have to. And she's like, nah, like, I'm good. I just really want to go over here and like learn and be a doctor full of feminism and sea monsters and really complicated words in medical terminology that I don't know how to say. I don't know if Mackenzie Lee is going to continue on with this guide type of book, but I really hope she does, and I will definitely be reading anything else that she puts out. This next book I was going to save for last because the cover's really beautiful, but you know what? It's 2019 and I don't want to do that anymore. So, Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Gunn I must talk about because, this is a Asian-inspired fantasy world where there are demons, humans, and half-demons, and the more demon you are, the more animal you look, which could have gone into furry territory very quickly, and I'm glad it didn't. This is more of a crossover or new adult because it has very explicit themes of assault and sexual assault and abuse, but the way that it was written in was very respectful, and it did talk a little bit about the like courtesans and the mistresses kind of aspect of a lot of older cultures. So that was handled really well. It felt very informative of that time period and of those girls' lives, while also going into LGBT politics and feminism and friendships between women. And it was fast-paced. It was really interesting to read. I loved all the side characters. The romance was adorable. One of the best books I read in 2018. One of the best books I've ever read. Cannot recommend this highly enough, but just know that the mature themes are very mature. So be prepared. Another astonishing book that I read this year is the only contemporary on this list, and that is The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X. Arpan. If you know me or this channel, you'll know that this usurped my last favorite contemporary at the very beginning of the year, and I cannot say enough good things about this book. After her mother's suicide, our main character Lee moves back to Taiwan to visit her grandparents who she's never met, and it's this big novel about identity and culture and family dynamics and mental illness and depression and how that can affect family, and it was just so beautiful. And there's a little bit of magic realism here, like just a tad, so that helped me get through it because I'm not a big contemporary person, but this was just an incredible read, super gorgeous writing, really amazing story that I feel a lot of people can identify with, and just, oh my god, 5 out of 5. Absolutely incredible. Another favorite has to deal with magical plastic surgeons, and that is The Bells by Donnell Clayton. This is set in a New Orleans type of fantasy world where the Bells are these beautiful women who have the power to like shape the body, but so it's like plastic surgery but magic, and that is the reason that the main character goes to the palace. She's competing to be the favorite of the new queen, and politics and beauty is, you know, what's in underneath counts, and actually the most beautiful people are the most rotten, and then there's like a whole conspiracy theory over bells and what they actually do, where they come from, and she is a wonderful character to read along with because she comes from a place of beauty and understanding vanity. So you would think that she's going to be this like flighty main character, but she's really not, and I love the way that she learns about things as we learn about things. So she was a great character to read. I'm very excited for the sequel, and this whole world is just so very imaginative. Mega props. Does anybody say that anymore? Let's change gears like a lot and go into an amazing Mad Max-esque world that is lifelike by Jay Kristoff. I know a lot of people did not like this book, but I loved this book. It was so fast-paced, I could not put it down. If you want a book that you can sit down and read in one sitting, this is the book to do so, because you actually can't put it down. I stayed up till, I think, 2:30 in the morning finishing this book that's in this dystopian world where we've ruined the earth and everything is metal and mechanics and oil and all these genetically modified creatures and animals, and this really weird like biomedical conspiracy, and the main character is an android cyborg. I'm here for the ride. I am in the car as we're driving through the weird desert glass field towards that giant glass-filled hurricane cloud chemical maelstrom, and I'm here for it. I'm so excited. I'm happy to be here. Second to last is a beautiful fantasy novel that I think a lot of people overlooked, and you definitely shouldn't, and that is The Light Between Worlds by Laura E. Weymouth. I was also skeptical when this first came out. I will leave my blog post down below, but this follows basically a Narnia plotline of having the siblings during World War II get transported to this magical realm where there's a talking animal who is the king of the forest, and they are also kind of at war, and them being like the chosen ones from another realm and having to do all this stuff. But the reason that I like this so much is because this focuses on what happens after that. So when they've already come home and what the consequences of living in this fantasy world have done to them. And it follows two sisters, one of them who loved her time there, felt like she was at home, and now in the real world is struggling to kind of get over that, whereas the other sister just wants to forget everything that happened and just wants to settle into a real world where she is stable and focused. And when the younger sister goes missing, it's this beautiful, beautiful book of sisterly love, family, depression, PTSD, and then it also goes into like the fantasy element of what that would be like. So you see a little bit of the fantasy world, you see mostly the present day after the war, and it's just such a brooding, melancholy, just absolutely gorgeously written book. So would recommend. Just, I know it's like Narnia, okay? But it did not stop me from enjoying it. And lastly is the book that I finished most recently that I am so happy that I read this year, because I was not going to read this because I was like, hey, like thrillers aren't really my thing. But then one of my friends was just Snapchatting updates the whole time, and I was like, hot damn, whatever the hell that is, I need it. Saw Kill Girls by Claire Legrand freaking killed the game and then brought it back to life and killed it all over again. This book is fucked up. Just straight fucked up. And I loved reading this. Claire Legrand outdid herself. On the island of Sawkill, girls go missing every once in a while. The girls start going missing more. And it also has to do with like demons and other worlds and LGBTQ politics and a really cute romance, and then also like really hardcore self-destruction and cults, and it was just a wild ass ride. I loved every bit of it. It was extremely immersive, and that's what makes it so psychologically disturbing, and I love books like that like just kind of like get under your skin. And in this case, you literally get under people's skin. Do recommend. Alright, there is my complete list of my favorite books of 2018. I know there's a lot on here that you were expecting, but I felt a little let down this year, unfortunately, when it comes to like big name books. So I found a lot of new authors that I really, really loved, and they straight killed the game this year. I am very impressed. I absolutely cannot wait for what's coming in 2019. I have my eye on so many books. I cannot wait for all the debut authors to come out with their new and exciting contributions to YA and fantasy. Please leave down below if you have any thoughts on any of these books, or if you want to fangirl over stuff that's coming out in 2019. I love the direction that YA is going, especially with all the intense feminism and world politics that are being brought up in these. I hope you guys are all having a nice day wherever you are, and I will see you all next week. Bye!